Before learning anything in the Torah, a person needs to ask themselves two questions. The first question is they have to ask, what is Torah? What's it about? What's its content trying to teach? And the second question is, why myself as an individual am I learning Torah? What is it that God wants me to get and obtain by studying His Torah? Parahat Ki Teitzei begins with an unfortunate story and rules about the Ben Sorer Moreh, a young adult who acts in rebellious, excessively physical ways, in a selfish way, denying all authority of his parents, of the Sanhedrin, and as a result, he's put to death. It's horrific. It's sad. But at least practically, according to one opinion in the Gemara and Sanhedrin, Chazal tell us that the Ben Sorer Moreh, this young adult, and the crime and the penalty that accompanies him, it never happened, it never will happen. It's impossible to happen practically. If so, the Gemara asks, why do we study it? Why is it in the Torah if it's impossible? And the Gemara answers, Drush v'kabel schar. You learn it and you receive a reward. But why? Why is it in the Torah? Why should I learn it if it's impossible to practically ever happen? Says the Baal Tanya, the first Lubavitcher Rabbi, and it answers those two questions we began with. Why? What is Torah? And why do we learn it? The message of Drush v'kabel schar, learn it, even though it's impractical, is because the Torah is not just a book of laws. It's not just a book of practical instructions. Torah, based on the word, hora'ah, guide, it's a guide to the will of God, the giver of the Torah. It's a guide to understand what God wants of humanity, of the world at large, what God wants of all of us who study Torah. What is His messages, and what is it that He wants us to know about Him and His will, even if it's not necessarily practical for us. And the reason is because it's our opportunity to build a relationship with God. Otherwise, without it, how will we build a relationship with Him? We don't see Him. He doesn't speak to us through prophecy anymore. And the answer is, Drush v'kabel schar. Learn His word. Learn His Torah. And by doing that, you understand Him.